Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Jason Burke, who is the CEO of the High Performance Success Summit. Jason, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mike, for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. Hey, I know that you are an event and networking expert, so I'm excited to talk about some of those points at a high level and then also learn more about your upcoming summit, because I always feel that people tend to stay closed off and sequestered in their lives, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner. But when you have these summits, they're so great, whether it's digital or in person or both, for networking and learning and personal development. So give us a little bit of background on yourself and then what led you to forming the High Performance Success Summit series.
Well, actually, I first got started in the event summit business back in 2010, and it was really totally by accident. I happened to be at the second Las Vegas Real Estate Insiders Club meeting that Glenn Plantone was running, and he was stepping down. So at the time, I called my partner Frank and said if he wanted to take over the real estate group, and he said yes. So we took over the group. So the first meeting that we went to Glenn was going to hand us over. I had Cynthia and Frank was picking me up. We're traveling with the groceries and everything, and then the car breaks down, and it was still hot in Vegas, so I had to have my friend Khalid come in and pick us up. And then we were the last ones there. Glenn was handing over the group to me, basically. But what happened from there is I really got the opportunity to work with some excellent real estate trainers and coaches. I had the privilege to work with Maverick millionaire Paul Fink for many years. I've worked with Realty Magazine. I put 6 real estate expos on in the Las Vegas market with them. They do about 20, 30 shows a year. I've worked with Ari Mentor, Dave Lindell, Bob Lanetti, some of the biggest people in the real estate space, and really doing the real estate meetings and really growing that. And getting the opportunity to put on these 2- and 3-day seminars. I've worked with Armando Montalago from his A&E and Flippin' TV show. Then in 2014 to 2018, in 2014, I met Bill Walsh, the CEO of Powerteam in Nashville. I was at a Michael Lafayette Collins Summit in November. And at the time, he was opening up these entrepreneur clubs in Vegas, and I volunteered to run that group. And it gave me the opportunity to meet some of the top influencers in the country, like Forbes Raleigh and different people along that nature. And really, I worked with Bill for 4 years. I ran entrepreneur clubs. I ran the Powerteam events in Vegas. I helped with the higher level Ultimate Wealth Camp and make the summits. And then in 2018, I finally had the inspiration to create my event, High Performance Success Summit, which is a 2-day event that helps small business owners and entrepreneurs grow their businesses. Typically, we'll have about 6 to 8 speakers per event, educating on business growth, mindset, success, raising capital, joint ventures, and we also have 4 panels on mindset, success, joint venture, and raising capital. Well, audience will get to ask questions of the speakers. We have preset questions, and really to have a dialogue. And what our goal really for the event is for the audience, for that person in the event, to take away 1 or 2 things that they can implement into their business right away, and also to make some really great connections. And of course, they'll have the opportunity to work with some mentors if they decide to work with the speakers to hire them, whether it be myself or someone else, to help them the business in a certain area that they need help in. But the goal is always to create a great experience for them. We've done 4 shows so far, 2 in Vegas, 2 in Boston. This year we have 10 more events. It's really creating that great experience and that great environment for networking, creating joint ventures, learning, and be able to take 1 or 2 things that you implement, learn, and put it right into your business, because you're not going to be able to absorb everything. But if you can take 1 or 2 things and implement that, and then that can inspire people to take action, that makes me really happy with the events, and also really making the audience happy. And that we've gotten testimonials on that. That's been really fantastic, but it's definitely been a great journey for me, because I had really no plans to be in this business at all, and I have just fell into this business. And then it's evolved for me doing my own events and everything along that lines, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think that you made a point that jumped out at me, and I want to make sure we go deeper here because I think that too many people go to any kind of event, but especially these multi-day events, and they're just inundated with new information and learning and notes and listening, and then they never implement anything. So you said you have a focus of making sure they've got one or two things that they can implement right away. Is there something specific that you guys do to make sure that people actually do that? Or are you just guiding the speakers to make sure their presentations are super, super clear and concise?
More guiding the speakers to make sure the presentation is super, super clear and concise, and also that content they're given to the audience that people can take away one or two things and implement that right away.
Yeah.
Like for me, I talk about networking with influencers. So I talk about how to connect with people, a 5-step process of that I learned from Bill Walsh, how to give a genuine compliment. Then asking people about the exciting projects, you're listening while they're talking, and then offering to add value. If you can't add value, offer to crew their charity event or give to the charity, and then they talk about you. But I really tell people the most important thing is when you network with highly successful people, they want to talk about themselves. So you got to first listen, and then as you're listening to them, you figure out how to add value to them, and then they'll be interested enough in the conversation that they'll want to ask about you rather than talking all about you. Just that one thing alone, if you implement that into your business, that can make a dramatic effect just by having that different mind switch of what to do,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some great, just that mind switch of that, because so many people come up and network and they'll start talking all about the business, but what the person on the other end really wants to talk about what's exciting in their sphere, especially when we're talking about someone, whether it be a successful business coach, a business person in your community, or a celebrity. You only have 30 seconds or a minute most to make a connection, make a rapport with that person. Otherwise, they're just going to brush you off and go, and you're going to wonder why 2 weeks later you never heard from them again.
Yep. I just think that that you've got quite the system put together there. And are there specific types of entrepreneurs that these summits are for? Do you do generic success summits, or are they specific industries and verticals that you want to attract?
Typically, we attract a lot in the real estate space, like real estate investors, real estate professionals. We tend to attract a lot in technology as far as like companies, tech companies, online coaches, and consultants. So we tend to attract a lot of those three verticals in that space, whether it be real estate investors in real estate professionals, technology companies, or people that have also online coaching and online businesses. So a lot of those verticals we tend to attract. Every once in a while we'll talk a brick-and-mortar business, but that's not typically who we're attracting to this event. Typically, you look at people that have been in business 5 years and are looking to grow their business, and at a certain point are looking to take their business to the next level, or people transitioning from the corporate world and want to think about starting a business, or they just started a business and looking like what to do, how to build that, how to grow that, how to raise the capital, how to build a brand, and how to close more sales, how to have the right mindset to do it. So those are different things that we do, and also different verticals that we attract.
I think that you hit on something there as well that I really like is that mindset, because you can feed someone a lot of information, business success and real estate and any kind of information. But if you don't really have that right mindset and the right kind of goals, it's going to kind of fall on deaf ears. I mean, the intent might be there, but I think that that mindset and goal setting is such a huge piece. How do you make sure that the attendees are creating those dreams the right way and having the mindset in the right frequency, really?
Really, a couple things. We have actually a mindset panel which will go over mindset, and we'll ask our speakers what they do to keep their mindset and top performance mindset. And we'll also have people ask questions of the speakers in that. So that's one of the things that we do with that. And then we have people that will actually come in and coach our mindset and success, basically. So, I mean, typically with that top mindset, we have a panel that just addresses that. What you need to do, what are the tips and tricks so you're what you need to listen to, like a tip, listen to Jim Rohn for 10 minutes a day. It's a lot of great. It's free. It's on YouTube. You don't have to pay anything, but there's a lot of great information, especially at the beginning of the day, to set your mind in the right place. Or you can listen to Tony Robbins or any one of the successful business coaches out there at the beginning of the day. You go on YouTube and you can look up their videos, and it doesn't cost you anything to do that,
Yeah.
Or if you have CDs or things like that to do that. But it all starts with the belief system and the mindset that you can do something, and once you do it. And as entrepreneurship, you might start with one thing and they'll evolve into something totally different that you didn't expect, that may be even better. So business owners should never be discouraged if they're doing one venture and that venture doesn't go like they think it, but it leads them to the next venture that's smash and success. Because you could fail 10 times, but you only have to be successful once, and that if it gets out of 9 failures,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just get back up, and that overnight success story really is 10 years in the making, but they just persevered, and I think that's a really, really big piece there, because too many people think that in our instant gratification society that we're in, instant message and text and all of these things, that all of a sudden, if I went to the seminar, then I ought to be successful because these people said how easy it was. So talk a little bit about how you train your people and attendees on that perseverance and putting in the work before you can, enjoy the beaches of the world kind of a concept.
Yeah, I think really it's very simple. You just got to be upfront with that and say, hey, listen, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. This is not overnight. The speakers will tell the attendees the same thing on their presentations. A lot of things that we're going to help you be successful, but you're going to have to do the work. If you don't do the work, there's nothing that they can do for you. It's not going to be like, oh, my God, I got all the exotic beaches and everything. You have to do the grind. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. And if the effort isn't there, you're not going to see the end result. I think that's pretty simple, but I emphasize that, and also speakers emphasize that when they're doing their presentations as well. And because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's work. And you're going to have to put in the work and the time and build the systems and the relationship capital, and all that takes time. And you're going to go through a couple innovations in your business where things don't work out the way you thought they were going to work. And you're always looking to how I get better, how do I improve, how do I sharpen the axe. And that is so important. And I know, especially with Instagram and society, everyone wants everything now. But it's called delayed gratification when you put in the work and then you get it,
Yeah.
It's not, I got to have it the second. And I think it was a good point they made, that we are in an instant gratification society where people want everything now and they don't realize that has to be delayed gratification, then you get it later on.
You made a point a minute ago that I kind of want to highlight as well, is you said sometimes it doesn't take much cost to get some of this training, like the Jim Rohn videos. But what it does cost is your time. And so many times people don't take the time. Because I've heard this before. If it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. And people these days have such availability of access to information that I think that they feel like it is so easy to do, and the problem is it just is not something that they take seriously. And I love quotes, and I think that one that pops to mind as well, other than if it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. Jack Welch was known for saying knowledge no longer is power because everyone has it. Access to knowledge has never been easier or faster. What do you think about that kind of approach to knowledge, and how can people really take that time to slow down and use that personal development opportunity?
I think you got to look at it this way. Knowledge without action is not power. Knowledge, like educating yourself, is power, but you have to take action on the education and for it to be power, If you just know the knowledge but you don't apply it, you know it, but you're not applying it and you're not executing it, So, in a sense, knowledge is power, but knowledge is power when you take action on it, I think that's the most distinction of it. You can have a lot of knowledge base, but you also have to be able to take action on the knowledge. You have to do. It's like I tell people when they're planning the event, you got to book the date and book the venue and sign the contract, because it keeps you have to do it. You have to follow through. Because I've heard so many people with events come in and say they want to do this event, but then you ask them, what's the date, what's the thing, and they don't even have a date, and they just, it never happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And
that's a
I
good
think
thing. That's kind of like personal accountability. When you pick the date and book it, you now are holding your feet to the fire and holding yourself accountable to now it's real. Let's get going.
Exactly. Now you have to make it happen. You have to find a way to fill the event. You got to find a way to market the event. And you always look at events, no matter what you do well and what you do well. Okay, we did this well. This is what we need to get better on. No matter if it's a success or it's a failure. And I've done over 200 events. I've been both. I had events that are packed. I've had events that haven't failed. And you take something from every event, the good and the bad, and you make adjustments, until you get the end result that you're looking for and you really want. But it's a process. And you can't be discovered when you're going through the process and things don't work out the way you anticipated to,
Yes.
Because it really is that with the event business. It really is seminar business. It's all about filling the seats, filling the event, and also giving your audience great content and value where they want to come back. And that's one thing we've done successfully. We've had testimonials in this. Really, the audience has gone away feeling really they've got a lot of value. They've got a lot of content. They've had interaction with the speaker. They've developed relationships. And that's important. If your audience is feeling that you're doing your job as an event organizer,
Yes.
And you're giving your customers that type of experience.
Yeah, exactly. And they walk away with something more than just feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly, because you don't want to overwhelm people, and that's why one of the things we do that I made adjustments after our first event was adding the panels in, because it breaks up the speakers. It's not one speaker after another. So if we have one or two speakers, we have a panel. That's a discussion panel. The speaker's way, it's a piece of questions, and then we open it up to the audience, And that keeps the audience engaged and gives them a break from just going one speaker after another, because your brain will just burn out at a certain point.
As you were mentioning that, I was thinking of the word engagement, and you just said it, and it's similar to social media, and so many people feel like I need to tell my audience this and that and the other, and it's a big difference between going, hey, look, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and I want you to send in your questions, and then we're going to talk about it right there on the page, and I'm responding in real time. And that's what you're doing in your events there. If you just have keynote speaker after keynote speaker, it's just a lot of telling. But when this panel comes in, now you've got some vibrant engagement.
Yeah, I agree. And you have vibrant engagement. You break it up. You have networking breaks also to break it up too. So it's not just hitting one speaker after another. You have one or two speakers have a panel, or you have a little bit of extended networking break, giving people a chance to interact. That way your audience is engaged throughout the whole day, and then you use the breaks and the panels effectively throughout the day to break up the speakers, and then it makes it for an engaging experience. Just like social media, it's not like, even in social media, it's like I do tips every day. Like you give your audience a tip of the day, and you go online, you give a tip, what if you run an event or doing sales or whatever you're an expert at, and you get them engaged in that content. And of course, you can always do Facebook watch parties and stuff like that. So that's the main thing, though, is you always want to keep engagement going with them, engage them in the conversation, and also so they're interested throughout the whole event. So you're not burning them out. I mean, I've been in events where I've seen like 10, 15, 20, or speaker after speaker after speaker, but it just burns the audience out.
Yep. Exactly. Well, hey, I know that you've got events coming up and you do them throughout the year. So the main site, and I'll make sure this is in the show notes, but hpssuccess.com for High Performance Success Summit. And that's where people can get details of upcoming events and future events as they come. Is that the best way for people to reach out and connect with you?
Yeah, they can go to www.hpssuccess.com to see upcoming events. Right now, you'll see our Los Angeles, California event come up on March 20th and 29th. People can also either private message me on Facebook or LinkedIn, or they can reach out to me through text at 702-300-6690. Again, the number 702-300-6690. They can reach out through me text message. We can set up a phone call. I'm happy to talk with anyone as far as people love to attend, or if they're interested in speaking or sponsoring. We are booking speakers for our upcoming events. We have shows in San Diego, Austin, Vegas, and Miami coming up after the LA event. So we're always looking for great speakers that have great content to get on stages. We're always promoting our events too. So we're also rolling out a brand ambassador program. So if people want to be part of the High Performance System brand, help us promote in these different cities, we do have a program from that. People can probably message me or text me at my phone for more information on that. So yeah, we have some exciting things coming up. We have an event coming up in Los Angeles on March 20th and 29th. We have some great speakers. I'll be speaking on networking with influencers and how to close more sales. We'll have Chris Miller and Tia Ross speaking how to build legacy and wealth. We'll have Trenton Samuel speaking on social media and the science behind that. We have Mike Chavez speaking on live video and how to really engage people using live video to build your audience. And we have Paul Soko is going to be speaking on advertising, and because Paul has written the Fusionsoft cookbook. We also have Michelle Finger-Nixon speaking on content creation as well. Hugh Zareski is going to be speaking on Airbnb and how to fire a boss. So we really got some awesome speakers coming up in Los Angeles on March 20th and 29th, and we got a great event, and we got great events all throughout the year. So, yeah, absolutely. They can engage by going to the website. They can text message me or private message me on LinkedIn or Facebook as well.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming on today. It was really, really good talking to you. I love getting down deep into some of these principles that you're teaching, and I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Yes.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.